with David Brinkley. Now, from our Washington headquarters, here's David Brinkley.
It's all changing by the minute, but from our open line to the Philippines, here's what is happening now. There is a mutiny, military and civilian, against President Marcos and his government.
We're trying a different route today. Bustling, sprawling lengths of EDSA, it's the main artery. It's the most loved and hated road in the region. Home of the homeless, den of workers, and road of the wanderers and tradesmen. Epifanio de los Santos Avenue, or most commonly known as EDSA, was built in the 1930s but cuts through major cities in the capital region, which is managed by the MMDA. It has a long history.
Out of victory in the elections 2 weeks ago. The mandate of the people, they said, rightfully belonged to Aquino. Angered by the rebellion, Marcos took to television.
So our plan is to start from Monumento and then finish at Mall of Asia. Have our lunch and snacks along the way. We'll try to use the more interesting paths to walk on. This means we have to switch sides from time to time. Northbound, southbound, northbound, southbound. The stretch is roughly about 25 kilometers. Hopefully, we finish this in 6 hours since we have to take photos and videos. So we were able to gather few people who were crazy enough to do this.
How did you prepare today?
I had bulalo last night and 2 bottles of beer.
Nice. What did you bring today?
Namilosan. Because I have allergic rhinitis.
So, anong dala mong gears ngayon? What did you bring today?
My phone, water, toilet paper, rain cover, a new t-shirt, and deodorant, that's all. And power bank.
Oh, bawal daw tumawid, Ras, pero tumawid sila.
My Romanian friend.
Now we're going to take a closer look.
What we're gonna do is take the conventional mode of transportation, walking.
Wait, it was the first mode of transportation.
safe this is. The wires. Yeah.
Get down, baby, across the track. Get down, baby, get down.
What's that? Sampaguita. You sell it. Do you sell it? Do you sell it? How much? 5 pesos. How much? 10 minutes. Alright. Should you do this every Sunday? You just bike around? Yeah. Where to? Where are you going? San Juan. Alright. Woohoo. How much? How much? 100. To Valenzuela and then wala po. Divisoria. Okay. Taga dito ka, di ba? Kaya alam mo, no? Flat. Suman. Magkano? Kaya gumagawa.
When you hear the word EDSA, what comes to your mind?
Traffic jam, pollution. Actually, there's a lot of culture within EDSA as well. Yeah? There's like the deepest side of Manila, yeah? Or like one artery of Manila, which actually is connecting many cities.
So you can see from the beginning of EDSA many kind of people and lifestyles. Step by step, you can see how this city became more modern and different and crowded.
Andy, that's the best hotel.
Yeah. In the world, in all Asia.
5-star hotel.
Japanese.
Yeah. Bakit? Sa dinaanan natin, naka-5 motel na.
Well, maybe because we have so much love.
Okay, love.
One big reason what made Manila is today. A region of Christmas loving, charming, and warm people that are engaged in putting the country on the economic map. Now what's so good or bad about that?
I guess it's the pulse of Metro Manila. If you go through EDSA, you'll see how it has developed. You'll see almost all the types of people, how people migrate within, and how businesses develop. And basically, that's where you'll see the pulse of the people who represent the capital of the country. As expected, with the way that EDSA basically is a model of all the urban cities in the Philippines. And as expected, urban cities, when you talk about urban cities in the Philippines, the car is the king. And in that sense, pedestrians are treated like second-class citizens. Our streets are really not meant for walking. Not because you cannot walk on our cities, but because it's built that way, which is the sad thing.
Walking down the street, concentrating on truck and right. I heard a dark voice beside of me, and I looked round in a state of fright. I saw 4 faces, one man, a brother from the gutter. They looked me up and down a bit and turned to each other. I say I don't like cricket. Oh no, I love it. I don't like cricket. No, no, I love it. Don't you walk through my words, you got to show some respect. Don't you walk through my words, 'cause you ain't heard me Well, he looked down at my silver chain. He said, I'll give you $1. I said, you got to be joking, man. It was a present from my mother.
What's in there?
I'm pregnant.
What?
I'm pregnant.
Beer in the morning?
Man, for you maybe it's 8 in the morning. For me it's 8 in the afternoon because I wake up at 11 p.m. yesterday. So only passed like 10 hours.
Nighttime
Yeah, but
person.
don't put it in England because, you know.
I will.
Why are there many motels in the Philippines?
Is it proud because we're a nation of people here can't afford to rent their condos, and Filipinos live with their parents up to age, what, 30s?
Maybe you have to ask Russ.
So, yeah.
Maybe you need to ask somebody who uses motels.
Yes. This is your usual spot, no? No? Ikaw, Bo, is this your usual spot?
No, not
Sogo?
really.
No, no.
I different.
Pag-ibig means love.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
EDSA is definitely walkable, but I wish meron tayong mas established na mga sidewalks and means of passage para sa mga pedestrians. I tried walking Ayala going to Shaw, and it's completely walkable. So I think walang problema maglakad. And I think that would also, well, not resolve the traffic problem that we have in EDSA, but somehow help it. Para, I think, gumaan man lang ng konti yung traffic natin sa EDSA. Little by little, meron tayong magagawa.
Well, what I can suggest is discipline sa mga bus drivers. Not only that, when we walk, we saw a lot of nagtitinda like along the roads. Maybe if you can place them in the like locations.
Natural Capital Region, Metropolitan Manila, Metro Manila, or just simply Manila. It's the second most populous and most densely populated region of the country. That says a lot. This means malls, schools, hospitals, businesses, skyscrapers, roads, roads, and roads. Here's a night map to prove it. Now, EDSA is the seed of these. Almost all big and small roads eventually lead to EDSA. All the money and supplies pass through it.
Actually, traveling from EDSA every day, for me, is not very healthy. Especially kung malayo yung house mo sa work mo, because it's time-consuming. So, wala ka ng time for yourself, for your family, and then ibang other things na dapat pwede mo pang gawin.
The busiest day in EDSA, or let's cynically say, the time you want to avoid EDSA is during the rush hours of Monday and Fridays and practically the whole day of Saturday. Let's not forget the whole month of December, when people go Christmas shopping, attend parties, reunions, and witness fireworks and variety of shows. One can drive through EDSA end-to-end for just 30 minutes. If traffic is very light, this means wee hours and most Sundays. Otherwise, it would be an excruciating 3 to 4 hour commute. If you have an 8 to 5 job, have a family, you have to travel the great length by bus or car. This means a major part of your day will be spent on the road. You have to sacrifice family time, me time, gym time, reading time, TV time. You don't have time to cook, so you always take away food. Then you have the MRT. It's the other big thing that comes in people's minds when you bring up the highways lane. When an ordinary John decides not to drive, the train makes up for the lost time. It speeds up to 40 kilometers per hour. That can bring you from terminal to terminal in just 40 minutes. If you drive, that's about 2 to 2.5 hours. But there are the long lines, crowded cars, lack of air conditioning. If you're not unlucky enough, it sometimes stalls.
Golden brown, texture like sun, lays me down. With my mind she runs throughout the night. No need to fight, never a frown with golden brown. Every time, just like the last, on her ship, tied to the mast, to distant lands, takes both my hands, never a frown with golden brown.
My experience while walking along EDSA, it's very underdeveloped, daming street vendors. Along the streets, marami ring mga karinderya, kainan. There are a lot of people sleeping along the roads, dami na mamalimos, madumi, so ang daming basura. Wala na masyadong order. I hope the government can do something about it.
We saw a lot. First stretch was really lively. Ang dami namin nakita sa daan. Like there were many vendors, yung mga potholes, under construction, abandoned buildings. And yeah, the road kind of improved. Parang lumog na yung EDSA. Of course, there was the train. Well, for me, like, okay, you can argue about, discipline of drivers. That's one. And of course, yung pag-clear ng sidewalk. So some parts hindi walkable. May mga nakaharang na paso, minsan malaking paso, o mga poste. And then may mga natutulog. People say na dagdagan daw ang daan. For me, it's not really logical kasi parang ang analogy niyan, parang mong niluwagan yung belt ng tao who has problem with obesity. Kung niluwagan mo yung belt, tataba pa rin yan because they need to congest talaga the city. As long as, andun yung mga condos or putting high rises, people will still coming in. Kahit lagyan mo bagong daan, magiging traffic din in the end. And like I said, yun nga like sa ibang bansa, I have to compare, like, kino-compete nila, hanggang anong floors lang kailangan nila tayo. Kasi they compete, like, dito sa Philippines, if there's like 500,000 square meter na condo, that's equivalent to one barangay. So imagine mo how amount of people who are gonna come in sa condo na yan. Isang condo lang yan, and then may mga bisita pa yan, in and out pa yan, palabas-pasok, bibili-bili. So ayun, I think the key is to decongest. Also to give like fair economic treatment to other provinces. Para sa akin, yun siguro, that's my suggestion. I'm not the expert, but that's something that makes sense to me.
This storm is coming like a ghost storm. Why must the youth fight against themselves? Government leaving the youth on the shelf. This place is coming like a ghost storm. No job to be found in this country.
Good job. Good job. Yeah. This is for the video. Good job. Where's Bo? Yay, good job.
But who are we to say or do this? We're just ordinary citizens with ordinary jobs, living ordinary lives who happen to take things seriously and, of course, care. When this long road was built, it gave glimmering hope and beautiful promises. All the dreamers, businessmen, and workers were in a gold rush, hoping that this road will eventually change their stars and lives and wishfully make a bright future for their children. It did. For some, it didn't. For some, it was short-lived. For a handful of you, well,
maybe that the beauty of Manila resides in its ugliness. Sometimes I speak about it with my friends and we refer to like these parts of Manila as a fridge from behind. Like it looks like all this ugly side from something that it is incomplete and from Orient anymore.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because this street for me give you a story about this country and these people.
So what we're trying to say is, let's make this a road for both humans and cars. A place where it's pleasant to walk, bike, run, or even skate. A place that can be lovable as it was once. Clean, breathable, accessible, and even less noisy. After all, this is the main river. Without it, the entire region is basically paralyzed. Yes, of course, we care. And now you know why we care. The government has done some work here and there. Few organizations have voiced out. How about you? What do you think?